the Ashland Board of Commissioners to order. If you please stand for invocation and place the flag.
Let us pray. Lord, we're thankful for our city today. We once again are thankful for the many positive projects that we are experiencing. We ask you once again for guidance and wisdom for the challenges of the day. Be with this board of mayor and commissioners as we strive to make the right decisions for our city and its people. Be with our city manager, our staff, our employees, and our citizens. Be with those in attendance today and with us throughout this day. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Motion to receive and file the agenda. Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion to receive and file the minutes of our regular meeting of May 9th, 2019. So moved. Second. Any discussion on those? All in favor? Aye. Those like sign. Hearings and reports, commissioners.
I just want to welcome everybody today to our new meeting. We've got a lot of stuff to be thankful for, a lot of things, positive things we've been experiencing. I was at 2 ribbon cuttings. Domino's that is taking over the block there behind Burger King. I hear that a pharmacy is coming maybe next door, and that's where Desco is going to take over the whole block, and it'll be a real good addition. I was also at Chick-fil-A. I think they're going to have to pour a pad in there for a helicopter. They're getting so much business, and they're thankful to be reopened. I want to make mention Firkenfest. This is the 5th year for Firkenfest. By the way, with no arrest. People thought this was going to be a big drunken brawl or something downtown. It has not been, and it's great for downtown and great for our businesses. The last thing was is Elk Sports Day coming up, and Mayor, yours truly is going to be the speaker, correct?
Yeah, I was asked to basically introduce Judge Toller, but it ended up being, and he told me to take a very limited amount of time, which is always the wrong thing to say to me. But I have cut it down to probably an hour and a half. I'm only kidding, but yes, I'll be there, and you need to be there too.
Yes, I'm going to give you the invitation, so we'll see you then. We're thankful for y'all being here today. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner. We appreciate those reports. You might, Commissioner Goode's pretty quick to give rundowns on the restaurants he's cut a ribbon at. And if we're there, we get elbowed out of the way all the time, so sometimes we don't make it there. But thanks for being there. I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
I went down to our riverfront. We've got summer motion coming up and looking at things we need to do to spruce everything up. And while I was down there, I remembered this time of year we also have our riverfront Ohio River Sweep. It's also that morning of the Firkenfest, this Saturday, 9 a.m., June 15th. And you're all invited. It's volunteers, so we'll come out and help clean up our riverfront. And it's looking good, but right along the water's edge, there's a lot of debris and trash, and it would be great if we could see a large turnout for that. And also I wanted to make mention of my appreciation to Ray Hale, who has stepped in to help us this past couple weeks, and for a little while longer. We had some issues with water and other things, and Ray has been very receptive and responsive, and I can't thank him enough for the work he's doing for our city.
Amen.
That's it.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. I would echo that. And it's kind of called people who are pretty well trained, been here a long time. They're more than willing and ready to step in and raise. He's a super employee. Absolutely appreciate that. Commissioner, anything? City Manager?
A couple things to follow up on what Commissioner Perkins said about the riverfront. Last week we had a different riverfront cleanup down there. Bill Ashland represented. A lot of folks that brought that back up to the standard it was last year. A couple folks sitting in the crowd here, Chris, EJ, appreciate it. I don't want to miss anybody else, but appreciate y'all being down there. A lot of sweat equities being put into that place. Just note, Mr. Moore, counselors at the Kentucky Annual Bar for some continuing education. And then what I'd like to do is turn it over for a short brief. Mr. Neese and Mr. Reimer are going to give an update on, or a back brief, if you will, on the repair fair. So, gentlemen.
So good afternoon. My name is DJ Reimer. I'm the Programs and Grant Specialist for the City of Ashland. This is Scott Neese. He's the Property Maintenance Manager for the city. He has been a facilitator for the repair fair for
About 3 years.
3 years. I guess the plan and the goal is to him turn the reins over to me here in the next few years. But this year, this was our 19th year for the repair fair event. We had 52 projects this year. We probably had the biggest turnout crowd of volunteers in the past, what?
7 or 8 years.
7 or 8 years. We had roughly 275 volunteers show up. Scott, do you have anything to add about the projects?
Of the 52 projects, obviously, we helped a lot of people out, but a lot of volunteers got to enjoy the time in the community and helping the neighbors. We had, everyone did a fantastic job, but we had 2 groups that just really went above and beyond. The first one was the Southern Baptist Disaster Relief Group went out and actually built not one porch and a ramp that they were scheduled to build, but they actually built a second porch onto the house that needed to be replaced in the same day, and really did an awesome job there. The other group that always does so much more than we could ever ask or expect is Marathon. They really go above and beyond. And we had one of their groups that actually came back. We had a group that came in, started a project, and found that it was far bigger than what they could do. It was more structural than what they were capable of. We reached out to Marathon. They were wonderful and sent us another group back and finished that project the following Friday and Saturday after the repair fair, and really went in and did a major structural repair on someone's house for them. So I was able to keep someone in their house that wouldn't have otherwise been able to stay in their house.
We want to thank all the local businesses that donated. We want to thank the commission for allotting some funds to be used for that. We want to thank Build Ashland for being a big partner with us. Scott has a video that was put together by Wes Thompson from Build Ashland. It highlights the event this year. It's a pretty good video.
Our resources and efforts into needs that are far from home. Yet, here we are today to do what? To help our neighbor. This is the community that the mayor and commissioners, we're so proud to represent you because you all set the standard for service.
Morning guys, my name is Blake. I'm one of the directors at Build Ashland. I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming out. I want to thank the city for allowing us to be a part of the repair fair. This is our 3rd year being involved. This is just a phenomenal example of what can happen when the city and the community come together for a project. And as I look out to see all the volunteers that are here, that got up super early on a Saturday to come out and serve others, it makes me very proud to be an Ashlander. It makes me very proud that Build Ashland is part of this project, and just thanks a lot, guys. Love y'all.
And finally, I'm going to pass the mic to the man behind this program, Scott Neese. We'll try to accommodate anything that we can do to help you guys out, to help the community. I mean, that's what we're all here for. It's not about who or what or any recognition, anything of that nature. It's all about helping the community out today. The fire department will be cooking lunch for us. And if you are on a job and you see a police cruiser pull up, you're not going to jail, probably. They are bringing water around today, and I think Commissioner Perkins has one more thing for you here. Okay, community economic development. These guys made it happen.
doubt.
Scott, I'm so proud of you. Thank you. Good job. Guys, let's get out there and get some things done. Hey, Don, thanks for all you did this week posting too.
We've been here with the repair fair for at least 18 years. And my grandsons and them have been from the time they were in Verity Middle School on up. And now I have myself, my daughters, my grandchildren, and my great-grandchildren. And we are still helping, and hopefully for another at least 10 years.
We don't want to forget to thank Chief Todd Kelly and the Ashland Police Department and Chief Greg Ray and the Ashland Fire Department for helping us out. Next year is our 20th anniversary, so we want to do something pretty big next year. We've got some things in the works, but we're not letting anything out to the public yet. So we will see where that takes us.
Can you paint the bridges for me?
Get the volunteers in the paint.
With a little doll. Put that on the list anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate everything, all that work. Absolutely. Okay. I want to mention that I was able to take a tour yesterday with Mr. Pullum and the hotel, and couldn't hardly even talk down there. I was so impressed with the place. It's ready to open today, but right now it's July 2nd. It's going to be a ribbon cutting, and the first guest will be the next day, July 3rd. It is the most beautiful hotel we've been in. Yeah, I'm a little partial, but I think it is. It rivals any I've ever seen. The wall coverings, the carpets, the two bars that you and your dad can go and relax in, and your other sometime maybe. But everything is just beautiful. And one of the things the interior designer did was there are pictures in most of the rooms of our bridges. They're kind of muted colored, but they're beautiful. But they also, when you go in, look up or go up to the second floor where it has just been facelifted like you would believe. But they have used structural material, metal, very much like the bridges. The interior designer used the bridges in a lot of what they did over there, which I thought was a great idea. But it jumps out at you. It truly does. The rooms are just phenomenal. Couldn't get any prices yesterday. See when it might be nice to go down and spend the night to help support the hotel. But he's hoping that they have a lot of booked rooms already. A lot of class reunions coming up, and hopefully we'll start pulling some conventions into town soon. I think when the word gets around and people stay there and see what it has to offer, and we get our sculptures on the riverfront, you'll be able to look right out some of those windows, and they'll be about eye level, I think, 10th floor.
I'll be looking out on the riverfront. That would be my, yeah.
You'll be looking back at the hotel. Yeah, maybe with you. But anyway, I hope you'll be excited about it as I am when you see it, when you get to go through it. And I'm sure that day of the ribbon cutting, Chris, he didn't tell me that, but probably he will allow people to go through it. That's the plan. Okay, that's all I have. Anything else, anybody? Okay, this point in our meeting is public participation. For an item not on the agenda, if you have something to bring before the mayor and commission, you have 5 minutes or less to bring it to us, and we have an inquiry complaint form in the mayor's office if you want to, go farther on whatever you might be here about. But make sure you give us your name and address for the record, and we're at that point now. Does anybody like to address the commission? Whitney?
Good afternoon. I'm Whitney Lowe with Ashland in Motion. We're located at 1509 Winchester Avenue. And I just want to follow up with Mayor Booth's comments regarding Frickin' Fest. That is scheduled for this Saturday, and we are very excited to be in our 5th year of hosting this event downtown. It's really a remarkable event. Each year it grows and gets bigger and bigger. This year we have 150 craft beer to sample. We have lots of regional, local food trucks, artisans, vendors, and of course all of our wonderful downtown restaurants and businesses will be open as well. So we encourage everybody to come. The event is open to the public. Of course, if you like to sample the craft beer, a ticket is required, and you can still buy those in advance right now online at beerfest.com. Excuse me, it's beerfest.com. Or you can stop in at 5 Ashland retailers, which are First Off Liquor, Shamrock Liquor, Good Spirits Wine and Tobacco, Ashland Beverage Center, and Carter Avenue Beverage, and you can buy your general admission tickets there as well. Currently, ticket prices are $25 for general admission and $50 for VIP. Ticket sales will be going on the day of on site, but ticket prices raise by $5, so it's $30 general admission and $55 for VIP. And we will start selling tickets on site Saturday at 11 a.m. So if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, you have the opportunity to do it then. And I just want to thank the Commission and the City for all of their support, and we're just happy to be celebrating year 5 and look forward to 5 more years. Thank you very much.
Thanks for all your work with me.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Thanks, Whit.
Good afternoon. My name is Crawford Shockey. I'm the owner of Crawford Hairdressers at 208 16th Street since 1984. And I'm asking the city if they would consider putting in 2 handicapped parking spots. One near my entrance and maybe one further down the street on the alley. We have one right now that's around the corner on Greenup Avenue, which is right on the curb, which I measured a 10-inch drop, which a lady called me last night that had just left my salon and had fallen there. And Nikki, my receptionist, parks there, and she also has a hard time getting in and out. It's a horrible place for a handicapped parking spot. So, one thing. Then, and the reason I'm asking for 2, we have one up at the end of 16th Street where Infusion Solutions is. But we also have 3 loading zone pickups, which don't really get used. The Girl Scouts do use it once a year across the street, but as far as the other ones, there's a place that has they do food, they carry in and out. But I think that's too many on that tiny little 16th Street. Okay, another thing, parking. My little old ladies, which are now in their 70s, 80s, and 90s, are having trouble finding a place to park. Everybody knows now it's dog eat dog, it's a free-for-all. Nobody's getting parking tickets anymore. Nothing's moving. Everybody's sitting in the same spot all day, at least on my street. So I would like to see something be done, figure something out, go back to the 2-hour limit, make it move. That worked for me. It kept everybody moving. There was always a place to park. There's not anymore. And I've never done this before.
You do a great job.
Kind of nervous. Sidewalk in front of my place, still about the same as it was about 5 or 6 years ago. I know a lot of people have heard me complain about it, and my late mother also. They came and patched it and put a little bit of caulking in there. The caulking is still there. The concrete patch is gone. And one more thing, whenever they're going to block the street off, I would love maybe a week's notice just to know 16th is going to be blocked, and I'll give my customers a heads up so they can make other arrangements to be picked up and dropped off. And I thank you very much.
Thank you, Crawford.
Thank you.
Dr. we'll turn that over immediately to our traffic control, traffic task force, which we'll get on that. You brought up a couple of good points about the loading zones. And whereas the necessary handicap parking is every day compared to others. So the chief is kind of, I don't know if he chairs it or not. He does. I thought so. So
Thank you.
We appreciate you coming in as a valued downtown vendor, artist, and you did a great job doing it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I wouldn't have recognized you. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I want to add on to that. His street's probably not the only side street that we need to look at for sidewalks. And think, I was walking on 16th Street, I know that's the opposite side of it.
Yeah.
But they definitely need,
Well, what we did at 15 is change the whole look of that street.
yeah,
And we need to move on up if we can move some budgeted money around on our streetscape. I think that people, especially people who've been in business as long as they have, they need that attention. Yes, sir.
Hi there. My name's Tom Cripple, 355 Spring Street. I'm sure many of you know me. I'm here because we just bought a house on Spring Street at the very end, right where it connects with Pollard. And as soon as traffic hits Spring Street, it's game on. It's Spring Street 500. I mean, I literally saw a fella came around there the other day. His front wheels left the ground and went up through there 70 miles an hour. The speed limit is 25. I sit on my porch every day, and only about 5% of the people go 25 or recently around 30. Officer Kelly, you're welcome to put an unmarked car in my driveway and sit there. You'll be amazed. And I'm sure this is not the first time you guys have heard about this.
What's your address, Tom?
355 Spring Street. Second house on the right. We're not up in the neighborhood. We're right where they just as soon as they hit Spring Street, it's game on. I mean, the minimal people go is 45. There are kids, there are animals. I've heard before we moved there was a car hit a time or two there, but it's ridiculous. And I would love to see some speed bumps there. I don't know what policy is speed bumps on city streets, but it's absurd.
Yeah. Okay, we appreciate it. And that's traffic task force on that. Matter of fact, that's quicker than them, really, the chief, the police matter, as far as getting that traffic slowed down.
Yeah, it's, you could even have there are speed limit signs, but even if you had a flashing speed limit sign, it's not going to do any good. It's like I said, it's out of control. And I knew that before I moved there, but once I lived there, I didn't realize how frequent it was and commonplace it was. But yeah, I would appreciate it if you guys could take some action.
Well, we'll try to get some relief.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
My name's Lundy Blevins, and what I need to do is get permission from you people through this application to put on a cornhole tournament right here in the city of Ashland.
We're going to do it, Monday.
It's going to be I call it the parking lot at the Paramount Arts Center.
Okay. When?
2nd, 3rd, and 4th of July.
Okay, about 4th of July. Summer motion.
The tournament will be the 4th. But the other 2 days, what we're going to do, a buddy of mine, y'all may know him, Rick Sutton. We're going to introduce people, children, to cornhole. Let them throw some bags and stuff down there, and then have a tournament there. July 4th. And here is the application. I need
Mr. Lundy, that'll go to the Parks Department.
Oh, okay.
And I think that what needs to be reconciled is what footprint that summer motion has.
Yeah, with summer motions.
Could I have a second on there or something?
Hey, Lundy, Lundy was a world champion horseshoe thrower.
No way.
I saw you.
Well,
I mean, I wasn't at the award ceremony, but I saw you throw the park.
I was a good, decent pitcher, you're right.
Yeah.
Same way in cornhole too.
I'd say. Well, what we have to look at here is summer motions. I don't know about their footprint right now, where they're at. And when you have summer motion, those days where we do block off areas and parking for people coming from out of town to get there.
Can I address that real quick for you?
Well, you can, but if you'll sit down with him eventually, you can certainly say it now. Go ahead.
Okay, I talked to the woman at the Paramount Arts Center. They have nothing to be used in that.
Yeah.
2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Yeah.
And I've gone through I can't think of her name, Barry at the
Amber?
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, if it's
Go
okay,
ahead.
can I take you real quick? Well, I think we maybe will get some details from you, unless you need to stay.
I'd like to get this passed here today. If I
Well,
possibly
we meet again before then, but all we're interested in, we're all in full support of what we're interested in is Paramount doesn't, we own that lot, not Paramount, so the fact they don't have anything going on doesn't alleviate the fact that Summer Motion may have something going on there. I don't have a clue, but Sean's gonna make some calls
Yes,
right now to see.
Okay, I talked to Sue Dowdy down there, and they have nothing on that either. That's why I went through all these 2-day channels.
Did you talk to anybody with Summer Motion that's actually the chairs?
I can't say, unless Sue Dowdy is part of it.
Well, no, the planning committee is separate from that, and he'll probably have the contact information. He'll help assist you in reaching out to those folks.
We're all for it. We think it's great.
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
make sure something is already scheduled there. And if it is, we'll work with you to find a spot.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I do have a second place to go to that's from one of the people up here on this panel,
Okay.
if it falls through.
Okay.
But Ben down there makes a bigger,
Yeah, I know.
better watch what you say.
What is Commissioner Good guarantees you on?
Well,
I mean, Miss.
I didn't name who it was. But anyway, the reason for that second, third, and fourth up in town, you know, you're gonna have a lot of traffic.
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm worried about something already being planned there. Exactly why I'm concerned about that. But it could still be there. I mean, there may be something that is not gonna affect anything.
There will still be parking places there for people to park. We want a certain amount of that area.
Yeah, gotcha.
Other than that, we're good.
He's the man right there. He's the man. He's the man to talk to.
And I'll challenge all of you to come down and pick some.
Lundy, I thank you for coming. I hadn't seen you in a while. He was one of the best pitchers for the Army Coast softball league. I could never hit him.
What?
Best pitchers for the Army Coast softball.
I enjoy sports. I even liked watching OC play back then.
Now, wait a minute.
But I didn't care.
When you were watching me, you were on the other team. You weren't in the stands eating a popsicle.
I was rooting against you, I'll have to say that, 'cause
We go way back, that's for sure. Thanks, man.
Thank you all.
All right, buddy.
Mike Maynard, 1819 Eloise, Director of Hillcrest Blues Mission. And today in the agenda, you'll see that you've got your first reading for the Community Development Block Grant. And I just want to, first of all, just give my appreciation for everyone here at the city, the commissioners, and everybody in past years of helping us out and enabling us to get some money to help some folks. And I know a lot of times you don't get to hear the impact that makes. And so what I wanted to let you know is that just in the last year, what getting the money last year in the block grant has done for the city. And one of the things that this does is that we get money for food for our food pantry, in which we help out about 240 families a month. And we consider that our compassionate help. And it helps for the time being, but it doesn't help permanently. But what getting the money does is, since we rely totally on donations, is that we can shift then donor money to other programs that really help. And one of the things that we were able to do this year, because of the money that we received, was to devote more money to our Welfare to Work program. We accept work studies and job placement from folks that are getting government assistance. And so nowadays, if you're receiving government assistance, you're either going to have to work, go to school, or do community service. And we became a place that you can do that. But one of the caveats was that if you were going to be placed with us, you also had to enroll in our adult education program, either working on your GED or working on getting into college. Because what we've seen in this area is that there are good paying jobs in this area. There really are. The problem is most folks don't qualify. They don't have a degree, the certificate, the skills, the training, experience to be able to get that job. And so we felt that we wanted to be a part of helping people get the skills and training necessary so they could get the jobs, to get the good paying jobs, to help their families and get off government assistance. In the last year, 15 months, we have helped 3 people get their GED. And we have 10 folks that are now in college off this program. Just this last semester, we had 2 on Dean's List. One had a 4.0. Another girl got accepted in the nursing program. And so all of these folks are on track in education to get a good job. Most are doing it in service fields, medical, social services, nursing, those kind of areas. And we've also had 2 of our work placements that have received 2 full-time good paying jobs that are now not on government assistance anymore. So your support and the economic development and with the HUD, everybody, all the different elements that have looked at what we do and have given us the money to help with the food pantry, that has really helped folks in our area. It's going to help them get good paying jobs, get off government assistance. So I just wanted to personally thank you for this last year for awarding us the grant. And I'm sure everybody who gets the grants have very similar stories to what I have.
I don't know about that, but I can tell you that all sounds wonderful to us. I think even a congressman would be very pleased that CDBG was carrying out the intent of it. You know, it's got a lot of tentacles going out there doing good things, infrastructure-wise, program-wise, feeding people, you know, making places safer for them. But you know, if you can get people off the perpetual government dole, you hit a home run when you do that. With 1 or 10, or you have some people in the wings. That's a great report, Mike. I appreciate it a lot. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay, anyone else? Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Old business item A. Done. How about that? How about consent agenda?
Resolution of the City of Ashland, Kentucky adopting, authorizing, and approving the course of action presented by the city manager on the items appearing in the consent agenda for the regular meeting of the Board of City Commissioners of June 13th, 2019.
Second.
Anybody have any questions on consent agenda?
I'd like to make one comment, Mayor. The information on all of the property and casualty insurance, Mike Atkins is out for medical reasons. He's going to come at the next available meeting to give further details on that. So we can, okay.
This agenda's so long, Manager, and as I reviewed it last night and today, and item A, it's not on consent agenda. I was making sure it was not on the consent agenda. It's not on the business. All in favor? I'm sorry.
No, I had actually am asking that item 4 be removed from the consent agenda, be considered separately so that I may vote on the consent agenda.
Okay. So a motion to take item 4 off the consent agenda.
Place the new business.
And we'll just come back to it as a single item. Sounds for, I don't know. I'm just saying that.
It's on the agenda.
Okay.
I'll read it as a separate item.
Okay.
So you all can take whatever action.
All in favor? Opposed, like sign. Okay. So, the consent agenda minus item 4. All in favor? Opposed, like sign. Item 4.
City manager recommends approval for payment of pay request number 1 dated April 3, 2019 in the amount of $11,639.25 to Tri-State Construction and Enterprise for work completed at the Safe Harbor Building number 3 renovation.
Second.
Is that work going okay?
It's going. It's back on.
Okay. And this work's been done satisfactory and?
They're working on it.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, like sign.
And I abstain.
Gotcha. Okay, new business, item A.
An ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a school resource officer agreement between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and the Ashland Independent School District for the term July 1, 2019 to June 30, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
It's the only thing I have. It's sort of related to this because of the safety, but I do want to make sure that we're considering putting some kind of lighting at our crosswalks at Crab and all the different schools. I think we've got issues like we talked about with speed, especially right there on Central, and I think it would be beneficial if we can allocate funds or try to find a way to slow people down right there.
What can we do, Chief?
We put our radar trailer out there, cars, selective enforcement, we may just have to go with some more signage or some more school zone notifications, but it was something
I've
we were
seen
researching.
creative painting shared with me online where it was minimal cost, but it looked almost like 3D bumps, looked like speed bumps.
Yeah, I've got an inquiry out on that.
See if it passed state.
Yeah, I still haven't got a response back on yet.
It looked really
Yeah.
simple and easy to do. I just that was my concern too, was if it was passed.
But once you figure it out, it's
Yeah.
But Central Avenue, and unfortunately about then, where the park starts.
it's wide open.
I see speeders all the time.
Yeah.
Probably pay a patrolman salary with tickets just there on Central Avenue. And then it just plays right into the hospital where we have so many wrecks at that little intersection when you come off Winchester or Carter, direct run to the emergency room, We've done better signage there, and I don't know, is it doing a lot better?
Yes, it's
But
very
see, I
much
think
an
for the
improvement.
schools, you protect one child over the whole course of the year, whatever. We've got to do something. That I think is probably the worst place in town, Fair Crab School. If people they're not considering a school there. I don't care how many school zone signs they see, because it's at Park.
And it would be beneficial not just to children. You've got a lot of foot traffic because it is our park.
Yeah, a whole lot.
Yeah.
And older, sure, foot traffic. I don't know if we can some kind of caution light over on the corner even.
Yeah, we were looking at with the school resource officers, talking with them about some improvements and stuff they've learned through their training about.
Somebody's got to be doing a little better degree of safety for the kids. But both my daughters were patrol kids, my granddaughters were patrol kids. I worried about them all the time, just standing on a corner, early in the morning. People late for work, drinking coffee, on their phone with school kids on a corner. I worried all the time about them. But slowing them down is a necessary thing we've got to do.
Give Chief credit, the way I come to work, usually twice a week during school season, you've got somebody at the corner of 17th and Central.
Yeah, it's morning school zone.
Which is, I've seen that a lot of guys running through that light. Jack, is that one of our lights that's got a short trigger on it? It is. So, is that one that's on the list to be upgraded with the parts that we purchased last year or not?
No, it's not on the list yet, but we could adjust the timing of the light.
I don't know, sometimes I'm just, still on this. If you take one of our older police cars that we're about to retire, we're not going to get much for it anyway, and just set it there with the lights flashing. Everybody slows down, they see flashing lights on police cars.
We've done that, and the thing is of course, after you drive by, you see no one sitting in it, so.
Yeah, but they don't, if somebody drives by, they're going wherever they're going, and they're not sure if the policeman's just inside the building, coming out. See, you got a uniform, we look at it differently. We think they're out there somewhere watching. I'm just brainstorming now.
I think there needs to be some more visibility in the safety needed for the area, so I think that's the number one. Of course, with other issues throughout the city, that's a priority for traffic enforcement.
Yeah,
all the
of course
time.
it is. I can tell you, Central Avenue, you could write tickets all day.
It's wide open because there's no traffic control from one point to another.
That's exactly right.
Mayor, we'll put that on the next traffic task force.
Okay, great, good deal. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item B.
An ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a short form agreement between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and HDR Engineering, Inc. for professional services for a cost of service COS study of rates for both the water and sewer systems in the amount of $72,000 as adopted by ordinance number 21, series of 2019 for the Department of Utilities.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, like sign. Item C.
An ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and approving change order number 1 dated April 17, 2019 in the amount of $11,280 between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and Service Pump and Supply, Inc. for a contract adopted by ordinance number 39, series of 2019 regarding refurbishing and reinstalling one FlowServe Model 23 EPM raw water intake pump for the Department of Utilities Division of Water Production.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item D.
An ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and approving change order number 2 between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and Aero Electric Company, Inc., changing the completion date from May 11th, 2019 to July 16th, 2019 for the Winchester Avenue Streetscape project for the Department of Public Works.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item E.
An ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a trust participation agreement for the Kentucky League of Cities Insurance Service General Insurance Trust for fiscal year 2019 through 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, like sign. Item F.
An ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an agreement between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and People's Insurance Agency, LLC, to provide insurance and/or risk management support services from July 1, 2019 through June 30th, 2020 in the amount of $25,000 and authorizing payment of same.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item G.
An ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky adopting and enacting supplements S71, S72, and S73 to the Code of Ordinances of the City of Ashland.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item H.
An ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky amending ordinance number 61, series of 2019, which adopted by reference the procurement regulations for the City of Ashland, Kentucky, May 2019.
So moved.
Second.
I have a question. I want to make sure that I would normally certainly be opposed to increasing that bid limit, but can I assume that's a new KRS?
Yeah, the details, Mr. Grubb and Ms. Beach.
The KRS is changing to 30,000, so we're just going to comply with the new KRS. It goes effect July 1.
It's the model procurement code.
It what?
That's the model procurement code.
Yeah, right.
So we can do that.
Okay. So are they putting it up there as the minimum now, the new minimum?
Yes, sir.
Do you have to follow that, or could you actually determine to bid something $20,000 and you want to bid it?
I don't know if that might be a legal question. I don't know. We would have to take us out of compliance.
Well,
In the model procurement code.
Yeah, I'm not the least bit concerned about our finance office and how they handle this, but because I know if there's any area that we need to know about before we would go for something like that, you'll let us know.
Yes, sir.
I know that. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item I.
An ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and approving change order number 1 between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and GRW Engineers, Inc. regarding their contract to provide engineering services for the Pollard Mills Drainage Improvement Project, making no change to the project total of $421,800, but redistributing funds within the contract for the Department of Community and Economic Development.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item J.
An ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing Stephen E. Gilmore, Mayor, to execute a quitclaim deed of conveyance between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and Paul D. Stewart, Nella Stewart, and Savannah Montgomery regarding the acceptance of the donation of 3430 Central Avenue in East Ashland.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, like sign. Item K,
An ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a voluntary disclosure agreement regarding occupational license fees during the period of February 1, 2016 through and including January 31, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item L,
An ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky amending Section 2 of Ordinance Number 101, Series of 2018, previously amended by Ordinance Number 161, Series of 2018, and Ordinance Number 41, Series of 2019, which is commonly known and referred to as the Budget Ordinance of the City of Ashland.
So moved.
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item M,
An ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an agreement with the Ashland Child Development Center, Inc., the subrecipient of $7,000 from the 2019 program year Community Development Block Grant.
So moved.
Second.
any discussion?
Just, so on these block grants, this says for operating expenses, including utilities and liabilities insurance. So we can assist in that respect with CDBG money?
Yes, we are. We're providing us, public facilities.
Okay.
And if I could, once you see these next items, CDBG, they're just, we approved the action plan before, this is just giving us, giving the commission the authority to sign contracts so we can disperse the funds.
Okay.
The money can't be used for salaries, I guess, Chris? Pardon? Can't be used for salaries.
In certain cases, it can go towards, if the salary is a program, for instance, with CARES has a caseworker.
But then specifically delineate that in the request.
Yes.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item N,
An ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an agreement with the Ashland Community Kitchen, Inc., the subrecipient of $5,000 from the 2019 program year Community Development Block Grant.
So moved.
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item O,
An ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an agreement with the Boyd County Council on Aging, Inc., Ashland Senior Center, the subrecipient of $14,000 from the 2019 program year Community Development Block Grant.
So moved.
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item P,
An ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an agreement with the Community Assistance Referral Service, Inc., CARES, the subrecipient of $30,000 from the 2019 program year Community Development Block Grant.
So moved.
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item Q,
An ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an agreement with Hillcrest Bruce Mission, the subrecipient of $18,000 from the 2019 program year Community Development Block Grant.
So moved.
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item R,
An ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an agreement with Shelter of Hope, Inc., the subrecipient of $5,000 from the 2019 program year Community Development Block Grant.
So moved.
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item S,
An ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky approving loan number 2019 M002 to CCC Management LLC, DBA Gillum Drug in the amount of $42,135.51 to be paid from the 2018 program year Community Development Block Grant and authorizing the mayor to execute loan documents.
So moved.
Second.
and Commissioner Good, this is the new pharmacy gonna go in down our next dominoes.
So is this separate from the actual money we set up for businesses? Is this coming from federal funds?
This is coming from federal funds
And so,
through the CDBG program.
and I noticed it was from 2018 that we're giving this money from program year. Okay, so
Currently, you are in program year 2018 for this program, whereas your fiscal year is 1920.
Yeah, oh,
We
gotcha.
run 1 year behind.
okay, so in 2018, what other businesses did we assist with CDBG?
Trophy House.
Trophy House. And then 2017, was that the initial year that we did these?
I'm not sure if it was 16.
16. And so, these are forgivable loans. What are the terms of these loans and how do we forgive them?
Every year they have 20% that is knocked off the loan if they follow certain criteria. They have to advertise the positions, the low mod income persons, pay them certain salary, and meet federal guidelines.
I recall Advana Clean being a recipient, maybe, no, they were not a recipient?
No, they were a recipient of general fund, which is city money. This is coming from the federal
Funds.
money.
What, can you name the programs we have used with this program, or that we've given loans to? All of them?
All of them. You would have Tipton's, Blazers, The Spot, Trophy House, now Gillis.
Okay. And now the Spot, where is that at?
It's currently not located in Ashland.
Okay. So were they a part of the forgivable loan program?
Yes.
Okay. And so have they paid their loan back? No. So what's the status with them?
It's been turned over to legal, and Mr. Ward reviewed it, working on it for us.
Okay. So we do have processes in place to, okay. And how much did they receive?
I would have to go back and look. That was before I think it was 30,000.
30? Okay. How long, do you know how long they were open? Because I never saw them open. No.
Well, I read about it, like,
Yeah.
opened or something,
Yeah.
but I never, but did we confiscate any equipment? Musical equipment, whatever it was?
No, I'd ask council whether we should.
Well, maybe we should.
I think we probably, you're getting into a little bit of nebulous area there.
I'm gonna make a statement, I'll be sorry for it.
I mean, I think if you have some specific questions about the general grant, I think they can answer those. But beyond that, at least as to the status of that particular issue where it's at right now, because it's been turned over to us, you may get into some area that you might get into some attorney-client type stuff. So my recommendation would be if you got specific questions on that. But as to the status of where it's at with legal, I'm not sure if they should be getting into that area.
Thank you, Andrew. You're worth every penny.
So do you feel comfortable that moving forward with this program, that we have checks and balances in place to go?
I can help with that. Yeah, there are checks and balances that are appropriate, that are in place. From a legal perspective, yes. And they're, I will tell you this, they're comparable to what I've seen with other similar community type grants like this, such as FICA. So what you're dealing with from a grant like this is, it's up to standard.
Because a lot of times people, you know, even if it's federal funds, even if it's a grant, people are concerned about money being spent and not recovered.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad to hear that you're all on top of it.
Well, this, you know, a lot of the application process has been greatly enhanced. And the application, I'm on that committee, the application we approved for this one is not less than that, and there's no junk in there. It is something they have to validate, everything.
Yeah. I think my question was more to the process maybe than the
Individual,
company. Correct, yeah.
Sure. But I would say, council, I think you already do it, and know to do it. Would you stop us in mid-sentence anytime?
I was going to, if you,
Yeah.
you're good.
And it won't bother any of us, trust me. All in favor?
Aye.
Item T.
An ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky fixing the ad valorem tax levy for the year 2019 payable in the year 2019 on real estate, personal property, and franchises in the City of Ashland for the city revenue purposes, providing for a discount of 1% on ad valorem taxes, only which are paid on or before the 15th day following the bill date, and providing for a penalty of 10% and 6% interest per annum for any taxes which are paid after the due date, said due date being 30 days following the bill date.
So moved.
Second.
And let me say, subject to correction from my finance office, I would say that if we're not the lowest property tax rate in Kentucky, we've got to be in the top 5. Okay, let the record reflect we returned from executive session at 1:30. Only potential litigation was discussed and no action was taken. Motion to adjourn. So moved. Second. All in favor? Aye. We're adjourned.